Okay, welcome, good morning, Richard here, and welcome to another video. I love Lightroom. For those of you that have been watching any videos on this channel will probably realise that. And I just wanted to go through one particular bit of Lightroom that I love. It's my favourite part when I'm editing photos. Not so much for landscape photos, but for certainly the detailed photos or the sort of producty type photos that I've been doing a lot of recently. You can check out my Instagram. I'm doing one a day for a year, so be sure to come over to Instagram here and check that out. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what I use and what difference it can make to a picture. So let's quickly jump into Lightroom and take a look. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom, and I've got a picture here that I use for one of my photo a day images, and it's a simple photo of a record lying down, a few props scattered around, but the emphasis is on the record. So I'm going to apply just one of my presets just to speed things up. So you can see down the right hand side here, this is totally unedited. I've done no adjustments or anything down here. So I've got one called Desat Moody, which just gives it a bit of a faded feel, and it sort of boosts the blacks, and well, it doesn't boost the blacks, but it kind of just makes it a bit dark and moody, which I like. I'm not going to do anything else to it at the moment apart from show you the radial filter. So that is up here, and there are a couple of things that you can do with it. There's quite a few things you can do with it, but I'm going to show you how I use it and how it can have a really big impact on what your subject is. So click on radial filter, and then you just click and drag where you want it to be. So I'm just going to reset this there. So you can make it wider or long and thin. If you want to keep it exactly the same dimensions as it is, then you hit shift and drag it, and it will drag it the same up and the same down. Now what I want to emphasize is the writing of the name of the album in the middle here. Gregory Alan Isakov is a great sort of folky type rock, not really rock, but you know, that slow mellow music, and makes you want to go on holiday, things like that. Anyway, check him out. So this is the bit I want to emphasize. So I'm going to kind of make it the same size as what I want it to be, but it's a bit horizontal here, and you can see that the writing goes at a bit of an angle. So if you hover just outside of the circle, you can see that you get these two little arched arrows, and that allows you to just rotate the radial filter to where you want it. Now by hitting O, you get a mask up which shows you, normally on radial filters it affects everything outside of that filter. It's almost like a spotlight, but you are affecting what is outside of the filter normally. So this is where you can adjust the feather. Now I'm just going to pump down the exposure just to prove a point, because you can adjust the feather to, now obviously things like that look fake. You can't have a circle like that because it just looks ridiculous. So just pick a feather that is appropriate. I normally go for something around 70 or 80, because then it blends in nicely from outside of the circle, and it just focuses it in gently into the area that you want to highlight, that you want to stand out. And because you're doing that, you can make the circle or the oval or whatever you've got a lot bigger than your subject, because you want to make sure that it fades into that subject nicely, but you still want to keep the subject highlighted in this case. So I'm then going to hit O and take that mask off, so we can see now obviously that doesn't look good unless that is the look you're going for, which I'm not. So I'm just going to take the exposure up, and don't forget we're adjusting everything outside of the circle, and I'm going to put it about there. There are lots of other things you can do here with contrast and highlights, shadows, blah blah blah. Maybe you'd want to take the clarity down a tiny bit and the sharpness down a little bit, just to make that circular bit pop a little bit more. And you can hit the button here just to toggle it on and off, and you can see the difference that's made. But that's not all you can do. So once you've done that, and then you sit back and you think, well, maybe that middle bit isn't quite as bright as I want it to be. Yeah, you could go outside and adjust the whole image, but I'm happy with how the outside of that looks. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to right mouse click in the circle and duplicate it, and that is going to double what we've already done, so it's going to make the outside look even darker. But I want to affect what's inside the circle now, so we just hit invert, and that now has put what was outside inside, so we've now just flattened the image out. There's no difference really. So if we were to neutralize everything, we've gone back to just the outside being affected, and then we can adjust the inside. So maybe we want to make the inside a little bit brighter, we want to add a bit of clarity and a bit of sharpness, and yeah, there's loads more you can do with it, with the colors and all sorts of things. But this is just a simple way that I find really makes the subject of your photo pop. So let's hit done there, and that's what we're going to go with. And if we hit the backslash button, you can see what a massive difference that makes from before and after, and it really emphasizes the subject that we want to emphasize in the picture. I've got another one here that I'm going to do a lot quicker. I'm going to hit my DSAT Moody. Now that is a little bit too faded, so I am just going to bring this in here and take that down a tiny bit. As it stands now, I'm really quite happy with what's around the outside, but I am going to bring up the adjustment of the whole picture. I'm looking to get the focal point or the subject exposed as I want it, which is the monkey shoulder bottle here. So I'm going to bring it brighter, and I think to myself, yep, that I like the monkey shoulder, I like how that's lit, but the outside is now too bright. So we go to our radial filter, we drag the area that we want to highlight, and we can now start bringing down the outside of the circle. We're just going to take some sharpness out, some clarity out. You can set the clarity right down if you wanted to. All sorts of things you can do. So I'm going to have it something like that. And again, I'm just going to do a quick duplication. You can see that we've got two filters here now. That is the first one that is emphasizing the outside. And I'm going to click on the middle one, and I'm going to invert it. And we're now inverting what's in the middle. Again, we're going to drag it so that the red covers the area that we want to cover. O to turn off that mask filter, that mask. And then we're going to make inside the circle just a tiny bit brighter, not too much. We don't want it to look fake or stupid, to about there. But we are going to make it a little bit sharper. And if you wanted to boost contrast, you could do that, or make the blacks a bit blacker there to maybe you want to give it, change the label a tiny bit, but there. So we're going to hit done. Backslash to show you before and after. Before, even lighting all over. After, and we've now just got the focus is on that bottle. And that is it. I mean, I love the radial filter. It's all about being subtle about it and not making it too obvious, as with all, well, in my eyes anyway, photo editing, and it just has a massive impact on the part of the photo that you want to emphasize. So that's it, a real quick one. Thank you for watching. I hope that made sense. Leave me a comment down below if there's anything you'd like to add. Don't forget to like the video if you found that useful, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. So I'll leave it there, and until next time, have a great day.